So you can even zoom into this screen, and while we are talking, you can just bro some shit like that.
actually show some information.
Yeah.
That's not the stop.
Amplitude.
Okay, my also audio is recording, and both audio is recording. CC Enjoy Podcast, the Porn Warriors, Warriors of Pussy. What do you want to call it? City Saviors.
Why is everything related to porn?
What is the podcast about, bro?
Basically, I used to get drunk a lot, and then we have these intense, deep conversations about life and stuff. We just thought, like, a couple of my friends, Sian included, and all. Sian, since he has like the skills and shit, I have the brains.
This podcast is just a podcast for regular people like him and me. We'll just keep it very opinion based, bro. Like, I don't want to get into arguments about people with different beliefs, because that's not what this is about. Everybody can know what they want to know.
We leave that to religion.
Yeah, we leave that to the people to figure. The concept for me for this podcast is keeping it regular, keeping it about the day-to-day lives, because there are a lot of stories that regular people have to talk about. But that being said, I also want to talk about stuff that matters, bro. Like, I don't want to just come here and set up our mics and just fuck around for 2 hours. We talk about some interesting stuff also. Like, I want to talk about some issues and give my opinion on the issues. I don't want to give tell people they are wrong or right, because who am I?
It's not based on research.
This is only opinion, bro, because we are stupid.
Yeah.
हम दोनों चुतिए हैं. Nobody gives a shit what we say. No censoring and all, bro. Raw podcast, Raw Dog this podcast. Raw Dog podcast, a good name.
Raw dog.
You know what raw dog means, right? So Nigel and me have a list of things we want to talk about and give our opinions about. One thing we recently thought about is social media activism in some sort of way, yeah, and how people are using social media to spread awareness about issues, but it's a very targeted form of awareness.
Things on Instagram, on Twitter, they just get viral for no reason. Things that need attention are not like given the attention.
What exactly are you talking about?
There are multiple things, bro. Like when the pandemic hit us, there was this one group of people that said, China sent this virus and it was a bioweapon and shit like that. And then just because everyone was sharing that post, maybe on Instagram, it became a thing, dude. And just because many people are sharing it, it's called information hoarding. And just because of that, something that might not be true, it appears to be true.
To actually bring light on the issue, or is it just to follow the bandwagon? Example, when the Russia-Ukraine war happened.
The Ukraine thing, where more people were involved and it was a much more serious issue, according to me, was like just died, bro, in like I think 4-5 days, and and it's like everyone was more worried about who's shitting on whose bed, bro.
Dude, yeah, I feel like the issue gets all this attention, hyper-focused attention.
Correct.
For that amount of time. People start posting black squares and doing stuff. And after a point, it becomes irrelevant, because how much will a person care about a war that's happening in the country they're not from? And it just died, bro. Like, I remember I was editing a video for a client, and they wanted to insert a joke about Russia-Ukraine. And the edit went on for like a month, after which the war was irrelevant. So I had to remove that joke, and I was just thinking, like, how does that make sense?
Did you do it just for the views? Or you're actually concerned about the situation in another country?
Are people using the platforms, the social media platforms, for their own benefit? And even if they are using it for their own benefit, does it matter? I want to be like the person who is supporting the posting, because I have a good amount of points which I want to discuss.
Yeah.
And I think you are against it, because you hate social media.
Against it, but then the viral content that I see on social media, most of it doesn't make sense. And like things that need to be addressed is not being addressed.
Can you give me an example?
For example, the deforestation thing that is happening at RA right now. When the decision was brought back to like cut the trees over there and all, it again, like there was a rise in the posts, and you know, everyone was sharing it like for maybe 2 to 3 days. Everyone social media had this post, save RA, hashtag this, that. And then like after that also died out, bro. Eventually there was some irrelevant thing like Ranbir and Alia getting pregnant or something, which was trending more. Does it stop there? Like after sharing a post on social media, do you feel that you have done your part after you just share a post on a story or save that post, reshare, comment, whatever? Have you played your role completely? Like, but then yeah.
Basically, what you're saying is while this whole deforestation issue was happening, people spoke about it for one day, and then
Yeah.
Alia and Ranbir got pregnant.
And then even a brand, it has reached a level where a brand is picking it up. I know a brand isn't going to pick up the deforestation part, but look at the intensity of something like that and
And
something
what is
like
the bigger
this.
issue? Obviously, the forest.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that baby will come into this world, but he or she won't have oxygen to breathe.
Damn. Yeah, it's kind of weird, bro. In the end of the day, even the actual media, I don't think cares about the issue.
Yeah.
If there was no money,
TRP.
yeah, if there were no views involved, they would not even talk about it.
Yeah.
Like they immediately swept through. And unfortunately, we are in a rigged system, bro, where only what the media will push to us is what will go viral. That's just how it
Exactly,
is.
yeah.
Like
That's where it brings me back to the point that sure, we have that freedom, we feel we have the freedom to share everything, but even that is policed. Because
yeah.
like what you're seeing on Instagram, particular posts are being shown on your feed. That's when you have the choice to actually reshare them. If something is not shown on your feed at all, how will you even be aware of that thing happening?
And I think that is a real point of our conversation. We think we are posting something that we care about, but we are just posting what they want us to post.
We're still slaves.
Yeah, we're not free, bro. This
Before we were slaves of people, now we are slaves of technology, which is also controlled by people only.
Yeah, bro. Before we were slaves of white people, and now we are slaves of brown people. If you think about this particular RA situation, it's too early to tell. It just happened, and there's no official verdict yet. But if you want to talk about the RA situation, if you look back like a year and a half ago, when the first actual bill was passed, like social media was used in a very correct sense. Everybody was brought together, and I'd say if 1 million people post, I'd say at least 20% of those people or 10% were actually in the roads protesting. Social media was used in the right way. Like we used it to highlight a particular issue, and even though people must have just posted about it anyways. Example, if I post about the RA deforestation and I don't care about it, just an example, I'm still posting it to 3,000 people to see. So does it really matter if my intentions are right, if the exposure to the actual situation is still being done? You know, like I think it makes sense, bro. Because if everybody was so invested about what they post about and they really cared and were extremely policed about like what they want to post, then a very few amount of issues would get posted, right?
But then again, like, are you posting it because you really care
That's my
about?
point. My point is it doesn't matter. Example, if I'm posting about somebody needing 10 lakh rupees for surgery, I might not really care about that person, but my post is still bringing it out there to people that might care. And does it matter if I care or not if the actual person is getting the money? In that way, I think it makes sense. But that being said, there's only this much amount of attention social media can give to something, right? Like maybe I'm posting about one person who's dying, but there are 10 more who don't get attention. And the sad part is, if you and me, example, there are 5 people in the world and you and me are 2 of them, we post about one particular thing. So the media will push that one thing forward because everybody is posting about that, and then more people will post about that. So that's a mess up. It's wrong, but who chooses what goes viral, bro? It's just like a random
So,
thing.
so you're saying that we choose what goes viral?
Unfortunately, yes, bro.
Don't you feel even that is policed to a certain extent? Like I've heard of many posts being taken down, people being arrested for what they post on social media. There might be people who are really vocal and they don't care about all this, but like if you see the majority people, they refuse to speak about real situations because they feel the harm that they post something and then next moment there's a police at your door.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a good point. So that's not social media's fault. That is our country. We are not really a democracy. Like if I post about Trump in US, no one's going to say anything to me. They'll be happy instead. So that is like a separate thing in my opinion. But one thing you did bring is people are scared to actually say stuff,
Yeah.
which is wrong. You should not be scared to say whatever you want, no matter what you support. That is literally why we are in the democracy. But isn't it also good that I don't have to actually go outside to the road and fight the politician outside his house and risk being harmed, which is probably going to happen, if I can just post about it?
But
What matters to me is the end goal. If a person needs 10,000 rupees and he's getting it from Jeff Bezos, for whom 10,000 rupees is not even a grain of sand, does it matter that Jeff Bezos gives 0.10% of his income, or does it matter that person who needs the 10,000 rupees got the money for whatever surgery they have?
here we are talking about, like, say 1 in 10 or 20 people who just got lucky about, like,
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos. Oh, he saw his post, or he felt like donating, and then he made someone's life work. If one person is being lucky through social media, that's just like a miracle, or it's like a probability again.
I mean, what can you do, bro? Like when Russia and Ukraine was happening,
Yeah.
there are 10 wars happening elsewhere in the world. Like Israel is still fighting Palestine.
Yeah.
Sorry, Palestine is still fighting Israel.
Uh-huh.
And like Afghanistan is not Afghanistan anymore. Like things for, unfortunately, trend for a real specific amount of time. And while it's actually happening, like no one's going to care about Afghanistan now.
Yeah.
So what can you do, bro? What can you do? You cannot help everybody in the world, you know? Like,
Yeah, that's true.
so if one person is getting help, I think it's fine, bro. One more thing I want to bring up about is, like, suppose I am sitting in Bombay with you,
Yeah.
and something happens in Kashmir. What can we do? There's nothing you and me can physically do except post about it, right? At least let people know what's happening.
Like, I know, I understand, like, even though that one post got shared for the wrong reason, it still might have helped someone. But like, have we reached that stage where that's all we need to do, is what I'm saying? Like,
No, of course,
Yeah.
you're right. But I think as civilians, as regular people who just have normal jobs, there's not much we can do, right? Unfortunately. But what I think, what you're trying to say is right. We can do more, bro. We can always do more. We can always do more, bro, but I still feel like it's not our responsibility to save the world. You know?
because of social media, do you feel like our responsibilities are just going even more and down day by day? Now I just feel that I have done my part by resharing the RA post. But before, maybe if social media wasn't there, I would actually go and hug a tree or something.
Social media has compressed the world. You know, like the fact that you and me even know that something happened in Kyrgyzstan or some place that's not in the mainstream is a big deal. I think is, what is the cost of exposure? Like, is exposure to a problem actually solving it? Like, even though we posted about RA,
Yeah.
what does that do? You know?
That's what I'm saying.
Because I read an article recently, people signed a lot of petitions, like please bring Kanye back and Kim Kardashian together.
There are petitions also for very lame reasons.
Yeah.
Like someone wants a new dog and stuff, and
But then recently, what I read,
you can donate.
so we have so much access to exposure, we can expose anything to anyone. Is that actually taking responsibility away from us to do something? That being said, I still think it's not our job to do that, bro. Like, our job as people, see, our lives can't stop because something is happening somewhere else. But at least the people who are suffering, they should get like the spotlight on them. So I think social media is good for that. And yeah, basically you're right, very specific issues come to life. Unfortunately, once that issue is slightly more important socially than others, it's going to get in that vicious cycle of the media posts about it and more people post about it after that. So you can't help it, bro. It's just the way it is.
Again, like we were discussing the other day that guy was selling paneer or something. I don't know. I don't know if he was selling paneer.
That's a good example of
Yeah.
it actually making a difference. 'Cause that man got
but
money.
he had to literally cry on camera for that to happen.
When a person shows emotion
Yeah.
and something that's very powerful is what gets viral, bro.
So basically, you're saying that people have to cry and then they get famous.
I mean, I don't think he cried on purpose. Probably
He
just
didn't
happened.
cry. He was suffering, I guess, because the
He
shop was not doing well,
bro,
right, during COVID.
time, restaurant industry was.
So that's just one like situation, like
But
COVID
bro,
ka thing.
if I had to cry and it would change my life, my financial life, think about he has a wife and kids. So I would cry, bro. Why not? What is wrong with it? So yeah, the sad part is it's all algorithm based. Like that man got picked up
Yeah.
through luck and through like a particular statistic. Like anybody else could have also gotten the video. Because when you see many people's Instagrams, they'll have 1 or 2 videos with many views, and the rest are just like normal.
Yeah, it's like, for example, you went to the north, right? And you went to that, there was a lady selling momos or something. Or I don't know, there was, yeah, right?
Yeah.
And you posted her on your story, but did she go viral? No. She was smiling. So that's like what I'm basically saying, right? That person could have also been struggling, but she didn't portray it, so she didn't get it.
Yeah. So
So it's like what you're trying to say is like you have to really show your vulnerable side and then you get noticed, which everyone wouldn't want to, show that side of their life.
Of course. Yeah, bro, it's exactly what sells. The emotion sells. Bro, so one more thing I want to discuss is in the end of the day, no matter what the intent is of you posting, if the person in the end is still benefiting from it, it doesn't matter. Like if we take a billionaire who gives $1 million to a person, it can completely change his life. So how does it matter if that $1 million didn't affect the billionaire? Because we are too obsessed with thinking about what is somebody losing instead of what is somebody gaining. So in the end, I think it's fine to post about stuff. Unfortunately, there are many consequences. Like bad things get attention.
Yeah.
Like sometimes people post stuff. One thing that is wrong is people post stuff without knowing about it, without researching it. Yeah, misinformation. That's the worst thing. And it has like its drawbacks. It has its good things. Like if you look at Black Lives Matter, which we should not talk about too much because we don't know a lot about it.
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, the full world knew. America was put under that spotlight. Unfortunately, it has brought a lot of fear in like African American people's lives. But the world knows, like people are more aware, and I think laws were changed because of the amount of media coverage it got. So yeah, we should stop this here only. Let's talk about like tits or something now.
So before that, like, let me also conclude now.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say, like just summarizing what I'm saying is, I mean, do post whatever you all feel like. I have no one to tell you what to post.
Yeah.
Just from a perspective where technology shouldn't control us, we should always ask questions, like we were discussing the other day also. Don't just post random stuff what you see on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, see the message that is behind it.
That's a good point, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be educated about what you share.
What you share.
And don't just share something out of emotion. I think that's one thing we should avoid. You guys, thanks for watching. We want to continue doing this between our work hours and stuff. Just talk about stuff that we care about. It's not about anything else. And we don't want it to be about anything in specific.
Yeah.
And it's not always going to be like us talking about issues.
So yeah, guys, we're doing this for the first time. So
That's what she
we would
said.
really like your feedback.
Oh God, you sound like
and
you sound like a corporation right now.
Exactly. I'm being controlled by technology as well.
Okay,
so
bye.
yeah.
Cheers.
Bye, guys.
Cut.